What's your takeaway from Saints-Cowboys, Daniel? What's your takeaway from that?
Well, Alvin Kamara found the time machine, I guess. Clint Kubiak is already. I mean, I'd like to be his agent. The way he's dialing things up with the Saints, and Derek's playing great. So that's a team that I don't know that I spent 2 minutes thinking about, much less talking about in the offseason. And now they've come out the gates on fire. So I think it's a creative scheme. I think the quarterback's playing at a high level. And I think we're reminded that Kamara is still one of the, he's one of the special players in the league because of all the different things he can do and the stress that he puts on a defense. But I'm, as encouraged and as much of a cheerleader as I was for the Cowboys defense week one, man, that might be the biggest drop off from week one to week two was that side of the ball for the Cowboys.
So then what is Clint Kubiak doing with the Saints that, again, you could say, well, that was Carolina week one, but that's a Dallas defense that marauded Cleveland, that absolutely put the bang thing on them in week one. And now Dallas's defense looked like that, and the whole thing fell apart in 1 week for Dallas.
Yeah. No, there's a rhythm and a timing to it. It's just hard to get a beat on what they're doing. They're changing the launch point, first of all, which I think is one of the more underrated aspects when you're designing plays in the NFL. If you're letting teams get a beat on where your quarterback's going to set up, and there's just more good pass rushers than good pass blockers in this league. So to constantly be moving the launch point, changing the rhythm, changing the timing. I think we think of timing and rhythm with quarterbacks. That also works for pass rush. When you can get a feel if he's going to be here, the ball's coming out at this time, we can coordinate and we can get home. He doesn't let you settle in. And I just thought, watching what they did and then having chess pieces like they have, Shaheed's a really good player. I don't know how many people around the country even know who he is, but he's an explosive down the field weapon. It's all working together really well right now.
All right, so in the couple minutes I have left with you, Daniel Jeremiah, I could go in so many different directions, so I'm going to go sports talk radio macro with you. Dallas, Baltimore, San Francisco, Cincinnati, all teams that coming into the season we thought not only had a chance to win their division but go deep into the playoffs. They all lost in week two. Two of them are 0-2. That's Baltimore and Cincinnati. And Dallas and San Francisco are 1-1 right now. The one that concerns you the most long term for this season, and again, knowing that Cincinnati has started 0-2 before, San Francisco is IR'd Christian McCaffrey, Dallas we're now shrug emojiing, and Baltimore lost 2 games, one that they could have won, one that they should have won late. What are you thinking, Daniel?
This is going to make for a terrible talk radio segment, Rich. I'm not worried about any of those teams.
Okay. You're not?
I'm not. I think you can go through them individually. Like, you can't watch Cincinnati yesterday, and knowing that they're not at full strength. That is the, back-to-back defending Super Bowl champ. And if, it was 100% the right call. It was a penalty at the end of that game. But if you don't have a little overzealous play defensively at that moment in time, and he just jumps straight up in the air, they walk out of the home of the 2-time defending champs with a win and played them incredibly tough. And they have a track record, as you mentioned, of slow starts and figuring it out. So I'm okay with Cincinnati. I think they'll be fine. Dallas, maybe of all those teams, just because of the Jekyll and Hyde nature of those 2 games, would be the one that I'm maybe curious about. But I still think the fundamentals are there with talent on defense. You've got the right quarterback. I don't think that division is going to run away from them. So I think they're going to be okay. San Francisco, San Francisco and Baltimore I'll put in the same bucket, in that physicality is something that wins out in this league. And it might, maybe you can talk about the ceiling cap. But to me, you play as hard and as physical as those 2 teams do, it starts at 9-10 wins. And then, however good the play is from there, you go up. But I don't envision a postseason without either one of those teams.
Catch the Rich Eisen Show every single day on the Roku channel, 12 to 3 Eastern, for free.